down to a more manageable level. And we are live. Alrighty, folks. My name's Zach. You are watching Real-Time Painting with Arclight Miniatures. You may have noticed a few changes to the stream. There's definitely a few aesthetic differences from this compared to previously. We do have some animated overlays. We've also got some nice nifty transitions when going between screens. And of course, we're also streaming to YouTube as well as Twitch, all at the same time. Very cool stuff. Just checking both streams right now to see how they're going. I think the YouTube one seems good to go right now, which is looking good as well. I think there's a bit of a delay on the YouTube one, but that's totally fine. I'm totally fine if it's a little bit behind Twitch, as long as it ends up being up there. The whole thing's a little bit behind schedule today. I had a little bit of technical issues when it came to getting the stream to actually start. I swapped over software from Streamlabs to OBS Studio. Did that. I've been looking to do that for the last few weeks, but I've been taking the time to make sure I learn OBS. Still very new at it. There's a little bit more involved in using OBS compared to Streamlabs. Streamlabs is nice because for beginners it's pretty user-friendly and it's kind of like a one-stop shop. You can kind of do everything in one spot. Whereas OBS, there's a little bit more involved. Now, Streamlabs was nice, but a year in, there's just a few other things I wanted to be able to do, like multi-streaming. And in Streamlabs, you can do that, but it's locked behind a paywall. Whereas in OBS Studios, it's all free. There's just a little bit more labor involved. So I decided to go the free route because I'm cheap, and why pay if I can just learn how to use a different software and use it effectively. So here we are. Yeah, we'll see how things go. I do see that my stream is a little bit unstable. I think my bit rate's a little bit too high. Let's see if I can change the bit rate a little bit here. I drop this down to like 8,000. We'll see if that helps things a little bit. I don't have the best internet, so going with high bit rate's probably not the best thing. But we'll see how the stream goes. Definitely let me know in the chat if quality becomes like absolute poo, or if there's just anything weird going on, if the sound's terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can modify the bitrate even further down here. Let's go 6,000. It's my internet is just really that bad. Live out in the middle of nowhere, so. Evening, Zach. Stream smells lovely today. Is that strawberries with a hint of cucumber? Very refreshing. Hope you're doing well. Thanks a lot there, Scotty. Papa Chicken. Papa Chicken 137 is also a camo specs artist. Goes by Papa Chicken. Also, Papa Chicken Painting on Instagram. Go check him out. He's got some really good stuff. Honestly, his photos don't do his miniature work justice. I've seen them in person, and yeah, really good stuff. But yeah, still seeing my bitrate is at a weird level on Twitch, but seems like an excellent connection on YouTube. So maybe that's just a Twitch thing right now. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna hop over to the painting desk right away here and let's get started. We're just doing monotonous stuff, so I'm just gonna jibber jabber while I block in some things in black, and then we do some like probably do some base coating with metallics. Figure we'll get that out of the way, and then we can do the actual highlighting of the metallics as well as the refining of all the Starfield stuff tomorrow on tomorrow's bigger, longer, uncut stream. Giggity. Anywho, let's hop over to the painting desk and we'll get right to it. Okie dokie. Sound level should be good. Alrighty. I'm just going to get my projector going onto my screen in front of me here. Full screen projector, Azorba. There we go. I just had to get that going. I think we're good to go. Okay. So, zoom in just a little bit here. The blue turned out pretty nice on the last stream on Monday night. We're not going to worry about the blue tonight. As I mentioned, we're going to kind of just focus on getting some of these other details delineated and prepped. That way, tomorrow, on tomorrow's stream, which is going to be 4 hours long, we can really kind of sink our teeth into the fun stuff on the blue Starfield. But this is always a fun step. It's monotonous, but it's always fun to block things in when it comes to the other details, because it just kind of breaks everything up on the miniature and you can just kind of see things start to come together. I do have two brushes here that I'll be utilizing. One is a number 1 and one is a number 2. These are both Marta Kalinsky brushes from Ammo by MIG. I'll probably lean a lot more on the number 2 than the number 1, but for those little tight, hard to reach places, the number 1 comes in handy. I really feel like the brush tips are exactly the same in terms of their sharpness, but the number 1 is just a skinnier brush. So if I have like a harder to reach spot and I'm worried about the thickness of the brush kind of touching, like the sides of the brush hitting parts of the miniature, then I'll use the number 1. Otherwise, I essentially use the number 2 almost exclusively. Like most of my detail work is done with this number 2 brush. Quite enough. I'm just going to load a little bit of moisture onto my brush and then get a bit of black ink. I always use black ink from Daller and Rowney. Totally ignored Scott's second comment there. I really do need to take the time to up my photo game. Nowhere near as good telling a story as your stuff. Stream stuff seems fine to me so far. Good to hear, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know, the photography thing is like a whole hobby in of itself, honestly. Whole skill set in of itself. Just especially when it comes to miniature photography, it's so different than doing normal photography, I guess. Like just taking photos of people and stuff. Very, very different. Just in terms of like, if I don't use a DSLR, I just use my smartphone to take photos. But if you're going to use a DSLR or a mirrorless camera like I also have, which I'm streaming from right now, does take really, really good photos. But you know, there's definitely some other lenses other than the stock kit lens that I could use to take even better photos. Now, when it comes to some of the areas that I'm going to paint with metallics on the legs and the arms, I'm not going to bother blocking in those areas with black because they're already dark gray, so I don't really need to worry too much about ensuring that my first layer of metallics is going to have good coverage and I'm not going to have weird colors showing through. It's really the main reason why I like to base coat all my metallic areas in black on, you know, normal paint schemes. Is just because I want to make sure that I don't have like yellow or something kind of showing through the metallics. Whereas if I have an area of metallics that's not quite covering 100%, black just kind of helps with shading. So, and just adding a little bit of variation. So. Gonna hit these little medium and small laser diode. I guess these are machine gun. I have to double check the Timberwolf Prime. Pretty sure it's got small lasers in its torsos, as well as machine guns, or a small laser and machine guns. I can't remember. How dare I call myself a clanner? Favorite black paint? There is a correct answer. I feel like this is a like a joke trick question. But for me, I use ink instead of black paint. So, joke's on you, I guess. I don't. I'm gonna use actual black paint though. Army Painter Matte Black, really, really good. I also can't remember what it was actually called, but there's a black that I had from Formula P3, also very, very good. Highly pigmented, went on really smooth, had a really nice matte finish. Honestly, I think Formula P3 is probably a paint brand that gets slept on by quite a few folks. Privateer Press is finally bringing them back into production, and there's like little base sets you can get as well as a bunch of individual colors. I definitely want to pick up a number of them, even just for their primary colors and primary shades. They're just such nice paints. They have liquid pigments, highly pigmented, really good matte finish on essentially all their paints. Okay, there's venting on the missile pods. We'll do the venting. Fill these areas in with black. And then I'll come back and just highlight those little raised grill areas with metallics. I'm probably going to do some like bright silver metallics because these are Novacats. They also have like a fancy paint scheme, so I'm going to go ahead and assume they're down with a little bit of chrome plating, a little bit of bling, as it were. Novacats are so weird. Doing space mushrooms and going out into the woods on spirit quests. I love P3. Use the old, what is it, cyan blue ton? Signar blue. Okay, I see your little correction down there. I use their arcane blue very frequently. It's one of my primary highlight colors for like lasers and PPCs and jump jets. Pretty much if I want blue object source lighting, that's like my go-to color, is arcane blue. It's really good as like a sky color too. If you're doing sky earth non-metallic metal, using it as like your sky highlight color, and then adding a bit of white into it. Oh boy, it just pops like crazy. Try not to show my hair too much in this stream. I would say drink every time you see my hair, but you might die by the end of the stream if you folks do that. I also don't want to encourage drinking, so Lord knows I have a number of friends that are, they could put the bottle down. So my brush. Speaking of drinking, I have a Guinness that I'm sipping on tonight. About 5 minutes before the stream started, I ended up spilling a bunch of Guinness foam in my lap because I popped the top on the can, and it bubbled up while I wasn't paying attention. These little like side vent things on the Timberwolf missile pods. Don't have too many other details to do on this Timberwolf. Be moving on shortly. A little bit on the back of the rear center torso. You can say that again. Yes. Know who you are. I'm assuming you probably have a military friend or two and understand what I'm talking about. Kind of hitting these like back rail areas on the rear of the center torso. I'm just going to kind of leave everything else as is. I'm not going to mess with that too much. Because again, that's already like very, very dark gray and essentially black. So if I add metallics over those, not really too concerned with I don't know, opacity. Little panels on either side. I know there's a couple on this other side here too. Probably hit those little round things too, toward the front, just in front of these. Don't know what they're supposed to be, but I'm going to make them metallic because reasons. Just like so. I think there's, yeah, one on the other side here too. Just going to hit that raised thing. I'm not going to fill in the recess below. I will come in with a little bit of black wash and pin wash a few of these areas where the all the blue is, just to really, you know, darken some of those panel lines in between the raised panels, help things pop. I'll do that later on though. Probably after I do the metallics, I'll go in, do some pin washing on some of the metallics as well as all these blue areas. I'll leave that be. I'm going to do the canopy. Add just a little bit more ink to my brush. Do the central canopy panel. What you folks have been up to, but I've been on a short leave block, I guess. I'm off for the next 2.5 weeks. Pretty happy about that. Getting to hang out with my family and then paint in the evenings. It's quite enjoyable. I'll probably be incredibly busy at work after I finish my little 3-week summer vacation, but that's okay. At least while I'm on this little break, I can just chill. Having lots of fun time, especially with my daughter. She's just a little ball of joy. I know it sounds so cliche, but she really is. Just a very, very happy kid, and I don't know, like a little over 1, like 14 months old, something like that. And just so happy. Tons of energy. It's awesome. I'm just trying to fill in these little recess areas here. Boom. And then I do have like little canopy panels on the sides here. I'm gonna get those. If I can actually get that to focus, that'd be slick. Find a little hair in there. Get the one on the other side here. I'm gonna try to go like head on with this, so I don't hit anything on the side. Thankfully, it's fairly dark back in there. so I don't really have to worry about being super neat. I can always come back and tidy that up too once I actually layer on some of the colors for the canopy. Haven't decided what colors I'm going to do the canopy yet. I might do kind of like a blaze orange-red just to contrast the blue, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll do like a two-tone of green and magenta, or something else. We'll see. Definitely got some stuff on the back side of this torso that I'm going to do. All these heat sinks. 4 ER PPCs, that's a lot of heat to manage, even for a clan mech. I always kind of liken the Warhawk or the Masakari to essentially the improved clan version of the Awesome. Think about it, 4 PPCs, big assault mech, tons of armor, doesn't move very fast, but clan tech. It's just an Awesome with extra steps. And a lot of, I don't know, eugenics. And other questionable things. Is that a Warhawk print? It's missing the right side defect. I see I'm awesome. No, this is a Catalyst Game Labs plastic miniature. Boom. Actually, there's on the front you can kind of see a little bit of mold, the remnants of the mold line that I didn't clean up so well on the front of the front underside of the front there. Yeah, this is the Catalyst Game Labs one. And yeah, this is a Warhawk C from the Alpha Strike box set. So doesn't have the missile launcher on top here. And yeah, so it is the C. So it this one I think has, I'd have to double check, but I think this has large pulse lasers in the right arm instead of PPCs. I'm pretty sure this side is PPCs and this side is pulse lasers. I'd have to double check the record sheet, but the barrels do look different. Noticeably so. There's like the venting on these ones. Hellstar is also very awesome. Yeah, I have a Hellstar miniature actually that I really need to paint, or I need to build. And add it to my my Fed Sons. Add it to my my Certus Fusiliers. Just gonna go ahead and fill this little back area because there's a little bit of indigo spill on there. Boom. All right. Zoom a little bit back out here so this isn't so claustrophobic. Yeah, too large pulse. Yeah, I figured as much. Hey, I guess I have a good eye after all. Alright, I'm going to move on to the Nova, or if you're a Inner Sphere Surat, the Blackhawk. I'm a big fan of the Dark Age Blackhawk from the Clicks games. It was one of my favorite mech designs early on when I played that game as a kid. I just really loved the hunched over look of the mech. Hitting these, like, I don't really know what these things are. These little pods on the Nova. I don't know if they're supposed to be like air intakes, or that's kind of what they remind me of, is air intakes on like a jet. Or, I don't know, maybe heat sinks or something. I don't know. They're definitely not weapons. Being able to spin that model instead of spinning your hand is kind of awesome. Oh yeah, like I mean, I will spin the handle in my hands as well, but like if I'm trying to hit an area back here and this thing gets in the way, I can just move it. It's definitely why I like using magnets. Hoping someday for a CGL Hellfire. Yeah, I don't know if that one. I don't know if that one's in the works or not. There's a massive laundry list of stuff that they have coming down the pipe for. Like, I mean, there's a list they made public that goes until, I want to say, early 2027. Maybe even end of 2027. I haven't looked at it in a while. And honestly, I haven't been made privy to anything beyond what's already publicly known. Even though I have signed an NDA, I think, I don't know, the odd individual miniature I'll get like a heads up on, but that's about it. I'm not going to bother with those. I don't want to do too many metallic details if I don't need to. And yeah, like this is a CGL plastic, and you can kind of see like there's kind of bad sculpting on the little heatsink there. Unfortunate. This thing had some pretty wicked mold slips. I'm actually surprised the barrels on the lasers don't look worse than they do. I had to do quite a bit of cleanup on those. Took me quite a while. It's going to be so hard for my FLGS to carry the whole BT line soon. Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff out right now. Catalyst Game Labs is definitely, I don't know, yeah, you can say what you want, like, there's some things I wish they did differently, but goddamn, they've done a good thing for the IP. Like, it's huge. There's so much stuff now. It's kind of like the heyday in the early 90s, I feel like, when it comes to the game. Filling in a couple of these heat sinks and I guess jump jet ports back here. So this Nova does have tons of jump jets. I shouldn't say tons, but a decent amount of jump jets. It's got a pretty good jump distance. Doesn't move that fast for a medium mech, but holy hell, it's got a goddamn massive laser vomit for an Alpha Strike. Basically shuts itself down, but pour out assault mechs in a single hit, especially at medium range. Medium lasers are just so OP, especially Clan ER medium lasers. My goodness. Unbelievable. There's just like one little singular port in the lower backside here. I'm just going to fill this one in, kind of get that little edge around. Well, that one's good. I'm not going to worry about anything on the arms and legs. I don't really think we got to do too much more with this guy. Let's move on to the Dasher Fire Moth. We'll do the canopy first here. The tiny little guy. There are 5 little canopy panels. There's the center one, and there's 2 each on the sides. Whoops. Almost fudged up there. And then there's that little guy on the side in the corner there. Canopy framing was a little bit janky on this. I had to be very careful when I was cleaning it up. Just had some weird edges that kind of stood out, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the flamer and laser barrel on top here. This is the flamer that I'm painting right now. It's kind of the more boxy barrel. I really enjoy the aesthetic that they went with for the flamers on these newer miniatures. Quite a bit different than prior lines, or prior, I guess prior miniature lines within BattleTech. But the Anthony Scroggins line is very nice. I'm very excited to see the Mad Cat Mark II miniature. I haven't seen any previews of it yet. I know Anthony Scroggins is a big fan of the MechWarrior 4 franchise aesthetic for when it comes to mechs in general, so I expect there's probably going to be some influence there, and I'm very excited for it. I love the Mad Cat Mark II. It's my favorite chassis of all time. The Mad Cat Mark II Enhanced, a terrible miniature by Ironwood Metals, but the mech itself is a beast. It's got hardened armor and pretty good jump distance for an assault mech, and packs a good punch, large pulses, medium pulses, and LRM 15s, in pairs, all three of those weapon systems. Really good Pop-Tart sniper. Hitting those little heat sinks there. No doubt, I hope the success of the current plastics pushes them to have a better premium line for hobbyists. What up, y'all? Voxel Forge, what's going on? I like your stuff there, Voxel Forge. Yeah, Spec Ops, I totally agree. I'm personally, I will definitely speak to their premium lines. They're not premium. They're pretty subpar miniatures, and in many ways, they're actually worse than just the normal ones you get in the Force packs. So I personally, I would avoid the premium miniatures. That's just my opinion. Not speaking in any official capacity, but I just really don't like them. I think they're just not done well. And there's a lot of improvements they can make. I mean, there's improvements they can make on all the miniatures, but those ones are really, really bad in a number of cases. Like, the only decent one that I had was my Timberwolf TC, and I swapped the arms for standard Timberwolf arms because I didn't want to use the silly Mad Dog arms. But yeah, it's they're not good. I have the Vulture. I also got the Phoenix Hawk, and they were not good. I will say that. The new Sculpt minis coming from Ironwood Metals are the premium minis, in my opinion. Yeah, I actually agree. Ironwood Metals is kind of hit and miss sometimes when it comes to certain sculpts. Thankfully, they've been going through and getting new masters done, so they've had improvements on a few notable miniatures that had classical issues, like the Catapult C3/C5. Used to have like these big fault lines all over it from a really, really bad master that they used for their molds, and they finally fixed that, as well as a few other miniatures that had that as a common issue. So and from the newer stuff that they've made, I haven't noticed any big quality issues. So I think there was like one or two photos I saw going around online of a couple Savage Wolf miniatures that had some pretty gnarly mold slips, but my understanding is Ironwood Metals replaced those free of charge. So Stylecast premiums suck. Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know what they're doing. So I will say this. I don't think I'm giving any hidden information in saying this, but the quality assurance and design / production team for the premium miniatures is separate from the main design and production team for the Catalyst Game Labs line. It's Monster Fight Club, I believe, that does the premium miniatures. It's not Catalyst Game Labs who actually makes them. Pretty sure that's public domain knowledge. But yes, so that's honestly what the big reason why is. I don't like Anthony Scroggins doesn't really have the final say on those miniatures when they get produced. That's honestly the biggest issue there. So. It's MFC, that's public, yeah. Yeah, and like, so they just, their team is completely separate from Scroggins, and the quality suffered greatly because of it. And just the overall consistency. And I just don't know what they're doing with that Silecast and how they're doing it, but they're doing a really bad job of it. Because I've seen other Silecast miniatures and they've looked fantastic, like really really good. I've seen other companies doing Silecast that look great. So. Do these giant ass heat sinks. I assume these to be those of which I just spoke with my mouth. Holy hell, I can't talk right now. Yes, these look like giant, massive, fuck off heat sinks. All the cooling, dude. All the airflow. Trying to really make sure I fill those gaps without flooding this, because I don't want like black ink to run out onto the flat surface there, because that would look bad, especially when we spent all that time trying to make this blue look real nice. I've heard rumor that that's changing, though can't recall. I'll point to the source proof. Could have been a while. Wish for a dream. Yeah. Infinity and Creature Caster Silecast are amazing. Yeah, like Infinity has some really nice Silecast. Really good pewter miniatures too from Infinity, honestly. Like really good detail. Not the most durable miniatures, especially some of the smaller characters that have really thin legs. But yeah, their Silecast stuff is really nice. Yeah, I just don't think MFC is up to the task either. I haven't had any good experience. What's going on, Werewolf? Happy to see you out here. Hydration break. Holy lips. That was just a big blurry screen for like 5 seconds. How's it going? Yeah, it's going good. Just chugging away on these guys. On these fellers. Like a laser or sensor pod. I'll have to double check the record sheet for this one. I'll hit that with black. Do them as lenses of some kind later on. Check the back side of this. Oh yeah, he's got some jump jet ports. I'll definitely, I'd mentioned there was a couple miniatures here that in the last stream that I'd probably do a little bit of airbrush work to do the jump jets. I'm definitely going to do that on this guy because he's got this big round one. I'm going to make that thing look like Iron Man's chest power plant with a nice pretty glow. Why don't you have a sub button for me to click? Not sure. actually not sure. I'll have to double check in my stream manager over the break. I know you can follow through Twitch, and then yeah, subbing. I'm not sure why I don't have the. I don't know why there's not the option to do that. Because a sub would be awesome on Twitch. I've hit all the other marks to be Twitch partner. Maybe I just need to activate something. Definitely excited to be streaming on YouTube now, though. That's pretty fun. Doing up these little jump jet ports here. Appear to be 5 jump jet ports from what I can see. I'll double check that against the record sheet and see how accurate the sculpt is. There's a funny point that came up in the Camel Specs private chat. I was arguing for better jump jet representation. It's kind of an inside joke now within our chat. Agreed, we need that sub button. Alright, well, goddamn. Halfway through these mechs. Just give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to pop over to my my PC desk. I want to see what's going on here. Alright, I'm going to take a look at Twitch here. Just gonna string together. Yep, I'm not entirely certain. Not entirely certain why I don't have that as an option. That might be something I have to sort out later. I don't want to take too much time in the stream trying to sort that out tonight. But I'll definitely sort that out either after the stream today or tomorrow. Can't you not get subs on Twitch unless you're an affiliate? Yeah, I think I need to activate yeah, it's like Twitch affiliate or Twitch partner. Yeah, I think it's Twitch affiliate. I think you're correct on that nomenclature. I've hit all the points for it. I think I actually just need to go physically turn it on and like accept. So I'll do that later. But until then, let's get back to painting. All right. Folks like my little animations there in between screens. Trying to make this look professional and shit, you know? I think I'm also probably going to invest in a couple webcams. One, so you can stare at my ugly mug while I paint, and then another so you can stare at my ugly mug while I sit at my PC. It is cool. I'm assuming you're talking about the animation. Thanks. I thought so too. All for free. Didn't have to pay for any of the animations, which was nice. They're just kind of like generic ones on kind of those pay to use websites. They have like, I don't know, like 20 different free sets of overlays and stuff you can pick from. So I just kind of cannibalized a few and used that. Maybe I'll invest in some fancier ones in the future, but I think I want to invest in a few webcams first. I thought about putting another webcam too, like getting 3 webcams and having one pointing down at my palette for the entire duration, but then I thought that my screen would get a little bit too crazy and cluttered, so I think I'll probably just not do that, and then if I want to show off my palette, I can just do this. I will have to get a new camera mount, actually. I discovered that this one that I'm using is starting to wear out after only a year of use. I've got... So it's essentially like a multi-part articulating arm that kind of screws and locks into place. Otherwise, it felt like really good quality, but on the top of the vertical section, I can loosen off a little slip collar, and I can just kind of swing the arm out of the way and that way the camera and everything's out of my way when I'm not using it. Well, I noticed very recently that it started getting pretty stiff when I tried to do that, and then it almost jammed up completely today when I was trying to adjust my articulating arm, and noticed that I have like metal shavings coming out of the gap, so whatever collar that thing slides on is jammed up and wearing out rapidly. So I can't swing it out of the way anymore. I'm just locking it into place and keeping it solid for now. I'm just going to work around it, and then yeah, I'm probably gonna be ordering a new overhead mount and all that good stuff in the near future here, so. I was really smart and cut a mini off its base today with my thumb in the way. I'm not a smart man. Yeah, I've done that. I at a time actually where I was doing a kit bash, I was building a Sidewinder years ago. I want to say in 2021, something like that. Sounds about right. 2021, I think, is when I made it. And I was cutting missile pods off of a Timberwolf. Or no, sorry, I was cutting them off. I was cutting the side torso pods off of a Mad Dog, which was a very tedious task to do and not absolutely mangle them. Yeah, as I was about to get all the way through the one pod, I literally thought to myself, like, I'm probably going to cut myself if I keep pushing here. Kept pushing for another 2 seconds, and yep, split my thumb open. So I split my thumb right open. It was not good. And we've all had that at some point, I'm sure. Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna take like this whole front casing on the missile launcher in black. I absolutely love the Hellhound Conjurer, the not a Wolverine 2C. Like this is a Wolverine 2C. You can't tell me this isn't a Wolverine 2C. This is 100% just a clan Wolverine. And I absolutely love it. There's nothing wrong with it. Just call it what it is. Goddamn. Why are we mincing our words? And then we don't need to call the I don't know, the Hellhound the other name that they're giving it, because they made it canon, but there's already a Hellhound that exists. You know what I'm talking about? The Hellhound 2 or the Hellhound from MechWarrior 4. What are they calling it now? Somebody help me out in the chat. Because Wolverine is the not named clan. Yeah. That's actually a very legit and lore-based reason. That makes sense. Yeah, they probably didn't want anything to do with that name. That totally tracks. I didn't even think about that. I don't even know if that's actually the reason, but we're going to go ahead and say that's the reason, because that totally makes sense. In my head canon, that totally tracks. The Hellcat, yes. Yeah, like, why are they calling it the Hellcat? It's the Hellhound. It's not a Hellcat, it's a Hellhound. It's a hell dog. It's a dog from hell. Not a cat from hell, a dog from hell. Hellhound. I digress. Or do I? Maybe I'll just go on about this for the next 10 minutes. Let me know in the chat if that's what you want me to do. I am your slave. Not really, but, you know, kinda, I guess in a weird way. Before I continue, I'm going to commit to this because I talked about this last stream that I wanted to paint the antennas black with white stripes. I'm doing it. We're doing it. God damn it, we're doing it. So I just think that'll look awesome and kind of hilarious at the same time. It'll just stand out really nice. I'm a big fan of making antennas and aerials and masts stand out. In real life, you really don't want them to. We actively camouflage ours whenever we can, IRL. But in miniature war games, I like seeing the antennas because I go through the trouble of putting them on, and I also want to avoid like me putting my thumb right over top where it would be, not because I would poke myself, but just because I don't want to damage them. Just makes them a little bit more easy to see. There we go. We're having a request in chat. I vote hot tub painting stream. Yes, dude. Absolutely. You gotta supply the hot tub though. I have some disposable income, but not enough for a hot tub. Unless you all subscribe to my Patreon at my top tier. We might get closer to that. Worth considering. Oh boy. All right. You know what? I'm gonna do the top of the casing here on this jump jet as well, because again, I mentioned we're gonna go with like bright silver metallics. We're gonna do true metallics with actual like metallic paint. But we're gonna do a proper TMM highlighting, layering process on all this stuff, just because. I didn't spend nearly this much time painting all of my Aerodani Light Horse mechs, which are kind of the counter to all my Clan Novacat stuff right now, in terms of Intersphere versus Clan. But yeah, it's mainly because I had just like a Zerg swarm of Aerodani Light Horse to paint. Whereas I only have 10 of these right now. I've already got some Novacats painted. 8 mechs and a few vehicles and some battle armor. So I want to fill out the ranks of my Novacats a little bit, but not too much because I don't need them to have this like crazy overwhelming force. I'm just trying to follow this little panel line. It's very, very hard to see, and it's very shallow, but if I just kind of ride my brush tip in that little groove, it prevents me from slipping out and getting paint on the blue outside of these little jump jet ports. I always try to use kind of that little physical structure of the miniature to my advantage, so if I have little grooves that I can kind of work in to my brush route, if that makes sense, I will definitely do that just to help myself. See, like literally all we did was paint a few things black, and it just like makes all that blue pop even more. The key to making things brighter isn't actually painting them more bright, it is painting them with a lot more dark spots mixed in with all of your bright spots, because it makes the bright spots look even brighter. It's a weird thing, contrast. Hypnotizing the mind and stuff, you know? I think we're good to go on this fella. Go on to the, I was going to call it a goshawk, but that's the intersphere name. This is a vapor eagle. We're going to go on to this fella. And have a little sippy sip. Now I'm actually going to hydrate, because it's all fun to drink hop water, but liquid bread, whatever you want to call it, but need some actual water too. I'm just taking a look at my my YouTube right now. It seems like the stream's got some poor health at the moment. It says users will experience buffering. Keyframe 4 seconds less. Not being sent often enough. Cause buffering. Interesting. YouTube's fine? Okay, good to hear. Yeah, it's basically just saying that due to my bitrate, it just honestly has to do with the bandwidth that I have for upload speed where I am. I'm in the middle of the country, so my internet's pretty awful. So I think that's why it's freaking out at me, because I think YouTube is used to people who aren't in the middle of nowhere trying to entertain folks elsewhere in the world. Repainting this Ares Apollo again for the 4th time, and I think I have finally landed on a look that I'm in love with. It's such a wall with the Mini that kind of stopped painting for a couple months. Yeah, I have an Ares Apollo that I want to paint it in 3rd Star League livery, and I have it painted in like the base coat for some green right now, like my olive drab, classic olive drab scheme that I always paint. But I don't know how or what exactly I want to freehand. It's like the new like first Star Guard or whatever it's called. It's kind of like their primary unit. It's what I want to paint it as, and I want to use their insignia. I'll probably end up freehanding their insignia on top of it, but I'm just not exactly sure how I want to do it, or how big, and if I want to add other stuff to it, or just do something completely different, because it's such a big space. I don't just want to paint it and not do any freehand on that big open canvas of the top of that tripod. Doing mine in Dark Age, alt Wolf Beta colors. Nice. What are the alt Wolf Beta colors? Green with yellow accents? Is that what it is? Or is like that green with yellow accents sounds like Jade Falcon Delta Galaxy to me. Ilcon eyes only. Interesting. Green with yellow accents. That it's maybe you're thinking of the 3rd Star League stuff. No, that's not really. So the yellow accents and stuff you see on some of the Star League stuff is the Star Guards. I'd have to double check. Do they actually have yellow in their paint scheme? Because I know the artwork of the one mech standing with Alaric Ward near the podium has the yellow highlights, but I didn't actually see that written into their paint scheme. What I understand is their paint scheme is just green, and then there's going to be occasional flourishes where certain units may or may not use an accent color. Do you have a page number for that? Because I'd like to actually look it up. Because when I was reading through, I didn't see that they have an accent color. I just saw olive drab. Back. Your G. Thanks a lot. Alt Wolf Beta is dark brown with molten orange on the top half. Ooh. Interesting. Is that like Wolves in Exile beta, or just like an alternate canon scheme for beta in general? Like beta proper? That seems pretty slick. I didn't know about that. After all, brown is just in fact dark orange. So it's basically just a giant orange gradient on a mech. That'd be kind of neat. Links on the back side here I'm going to do. Look up the cover art for Bonfire Worlds. I'll have to do that when I take a little break here. I've read Bonfire of Worlds, but I read it on my e-reader, so I never... I didn't look at a color image of the cover. I just had I have the black and white Kindle, so. Although maybe I have seen the cover and I just assumed it was like Clan Hell's Horses or something like that. In my ignorance. Three mechs left, and then we're going to start on the metallics. Ilkon's Eyes only, 190. It's yellow hazard stripes on green. Herman Main's Lament. Interesting. Oh, there's a bit of stripes like yellow to me, but the rest says molten orange. Interesting. Okay. Oh, the text says molten orange. Ilkon's Eyes only, page 190. Yellow hazard stripes on green. Yellow hazard stripes. Interesting. Does it delineate any like how much? How many yellow hazard stripes you're using? Or like where on the mech? Like a specific side of the mech, like arms or legs? Very curious. Interesting. Because I know, like Third Star League, like the guards, they get access to the Ares Apollo, all the Ares super heavies. have the reference for that saved in a notepad document on my computer right now, actually, along with a few other notes, and that's why I'm kind of surprised I missed this note about the paint scheme. A lot of tiny little things on this torso here, tiny little barrels and stuff like that, so paint all these up. Can I DM on Discord with screenshots of references? Yeah, send it. I'll have to like accept your message, but yeah, send it away, and after the stream I'll go and accept, and I'll take a look at them. Much appreciated. Yeah, we haven't really, like in camo specs, we haven't really done too much with the new Ilcon Eyes Only. I'm trying to canonize a paint scheme for one of the Wolf Clan units. I won't say which one yet, because that's kind of hush-hush at the moment. Not like it's a big thing, it's just, when we're kind of working to canonize those things, we don't really like to spill the beans until it's official. But, yeah. I was looking to also do some Third Star League, so not in a rush to do it, but it's definitely good to know that I missed a reference that I should not have. I'll have to take a good look at it. I just want to say that I really am digging the purple in the shading on all of these mechs. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. I'm definitely looking at my screen in front of me. It's not picking it up as well as I can see it here with my eyes, but I absolutely love this purple in the shading. Really goes a long way. Oh, I just posted in that section as well for a project of my own. I would love your input on it whenever you get the chance. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. If it's a new Omega and it's not the art, I'm going to be sad. I've just started doing it's new Omega. Not sure what you mean by new Omega. If you mean Omega Galaxy Wolves, I am going to say no. At least not for mine. Add a little bit more ink to my palette. Drops. I'm having a little sip here. Oops. Use my finger to wipe off some of the ink that I got on the edge there. Didn't really mean to. Trying to make sure I fill all these little grooves, as well as these undersides. Really not much to do on this guy. Piranha. Lots of little barrels and things on this dude. Tiny little canopy on the Piranha. will say I just noticed I don't think I'm getting any of my YouTube chat to my chat widget on my stream. I'll have to sort that out. So I've been taking periodic peeks back, and I can see some stuff in the YouTube chat that I'm just not seeing pop up on the screen here in front of me. So sorry about that, folks, if you've been saying things to me and it seems like I'm ignoring you. I'm definitely not trying to. Just the limitations of my monkey brain trying to learn software in a hurry, while doing a bunch of other things, like being a dad and having work and other things. You know, that old chestnut. Yeah, I forgot the Piranha's got the nice six-pack abs going on here. Mega Galaxy Wolves, yeah, where they stuffed most of the Exiles and Wolf Hunters. Nice. Yeah, I skimmed Ilkhan's Eyes Only. I largely just skimmed it. I read Trial of Birthright from front to back over the course of like a week and a half. I actually quite enjoyed the book. I thought there was a laughable number of spelling and grammatical mistakes that didn't get picked up in editing, but you know, I guess I'll leave that at that. I'm not an editor, so and they didn't pay me to do it, so I guess I can't really complain too much. But yeah, it was a very good read, though. Otherwise, aside from the litany of spelling mistakes, really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed that there's definitely a divide between the new Star League and the Wolves, and there seems to be a divide within the Wolves themselves. Just kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. I really enjoy the turn that they kind of took there, so thought it was neat. I did add a little antenna to this Piranha. I debated adding one, but I just, yeah, figured why not. I wanted to add it in a spot that kind of made sense, though, and I angled this kind of hard to the back because it's a fast moving machine. Doesn't want to be super high profile, so I figured it can have an antenna, but its antenna is going to be kind of swept back, how it is right now. If you can kind of see with the white background there. Piranha totally works out. Oh yeah, this guy lifts, dude. Lifts himself up. That's six-pack abs. Either that, or he just doesn't eat enough. I do like that it has like the little kind of shitty fake teeth on the bottom and the top above the canopy panel. Alright, I'm just using all 7 of my brain cells right now to concentrate super hard so I don't mess this up. There we go. What do you make your antennas out of? I will show you thusly. This is Beadalon bead string wire. So this is, oh, you know, it's funny. I've been telling people the wrong measurements. That's hilarious. So this is 0.38 millimeter diameter, or 0.015 inch. I've been correct in telling people it was 0.015 inch, but I've been telling people it was 0.2 millimeters, but it is not. It is this, in fact. It's pretty nice. It's very flexible. It doesn't poke like crazy when you tap the end of it, but it holds its shape very well. It also snips with scissors. So essentially, I don't know if you can tell by the packaging there, but it is a bundle of little micro wires inside a plastic sheath. So yeah, super handy. Takes paint really well too. So I put them in before even priming, and then priming and painting kind of builds up the thickness. And yeah, I don't ever have any issues with like paint flaking off them or anything like that. And I handle my miniatures pretty aggressively, even the nicer ones. I've never used toothbrush bristles, but I used nylon paintbrush bristles for a couple of years. They don't last as well as these do, especially if you're using like foam or anything like that to store your miniatures in. Just any kind of transport in general, I find the nylon bristles just get beat up. That's just my personal experience though. Oh yeah, this guy's got these, if he was a fat boy, I'd call these like back fat rolls, but these are like, this guy's just got latception, dude. Just lats on top of lats on top of lats. This guy's just a big calisthenics pro. I used toothbrush bristles and broke them, hence my question. Yeah, they just don't last, unfortunately. I think if you were just putting them, if you're using them for a straight up display piece that was just going to be sitting in a case or something like that and not being put into storage where it's going to be handled, then maybe you could get away with it. But yeah, this stuff just is the bee's knees. And like the single roll, man, it was not expensive. It was less than $20 for the spool, and like I ordered it on Amazon, and it was definitely 100% less than $20 Canadian for the spool, and it has 100 feet, so it will last a very long time. One mini left, and then we'll go on to the metallics. All right, we got the old horned owl or the peregrine. This is honestly one of my favorite new sculpts that Catalyst Game Labs put out. This is like the Zaku knockoff. Sigzeon. Whoops, looking at my hair. I love this thing. I have one painted up already in NovaCat Sigma Galaxy, just like my tiger stripe scheme. Absolutely love this thing. Beautiful. I'd love to see a couple of variant miniatures, just because a lot of them are very different. A lot of them have missile launchers added in. And like this is a clan battle mech, so the Horned Owl 2 has tons of LRMs on it. I would definitely love to see some of this, like this, made into a couple variant miniatures. Zaku's our boss, yeah, 100%. This guy's got a little antenna going too, and this miniature actually has a little anchor point for the antenna. Some of the miniatures actually have little anchor points designed into the sculpts for antennas, which I quite enjoy. And obviously, you know, like they're not mandatory to use. You can just pretend that it's just a random doodad on the chassis. But I definitely appreciate when there's very obvious anchor points for an antenna. And I'll show you that one. Boom, just got that little guy coming up off the top of the head. And all of these antennas I'm going to be doing with little white tips and stripes, just so they stand out. This guy's going to need some touch-ups on the shoulder pad and stuff. We're going to do that now. I'm also going to quickly fix this area where I got a little bit of blue. Do the same on this side. This mech was just a little bit weird to do because I was having to be a little bit more aggressive with the sponge because of all the rounded surfaces. There's just not a lot of hard edges for the paint to catch on. And because of that, I was being a little bit more aggressive, and I got a little bit of paint on the shoulder pauldron here. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of black gray from Vallejo. I'm just going to quickly grab this off my paint rack, shake, shake, shake it up, and then slap it onto my palette. Just a wee bit, just a little bit of paint there. Just a taste. So I've got these little areas here. Let's zoom in slightly so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't want to zoom in too much, but yeah, so you can see there's a little bit of blue just on that pauldron. I'm just gonna use this black gray. Just kind of stipple over top of it because we highlighted all these areas with that black gray when we used the airbrush. Same thing with this little area here. I got a little bit on that edge with the blue. Boom, good to go. This guy's touched up. A few things on the back side here to do. A couple jump jet ports, and then we can crack on with working on some metallics. I'll do this little round thing. Black here, and we'll do that with metallics. Oops. A bit of a mess there, that's okay. This little left side port, and then the right side right after. The underside properly. Again, with this one, I'm just kind of using these deep grooves on either side to kind of help keep my miniature or my paintbrush in the right area on the miniature and keep the tip of the brush from accidentally like sliding out onto the blue areas. Yeah. Then just a little bit here too. Just taking a quick peek at this guy, see if there's anything else I really need to do. I think we're good. Yeah. You know what? We'll do these pipe looking things too. These look like they could be metallic. I think on my other Nova Cat one, I just kind of ignored these, or maybe I just painted them in like dark gray and highlighted them. But that's also because my other one that I painted for my Nova Cats was painted in camouflage. And for that guy, I didn't really feel like any of those mechs should have super bright metallics, so I just didn't go with that overall aesthetic for them. Reference images sent. I'm off to bed. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks a lot for coming out, Spec Ops 12, and thanks for sending those out to me. I'll take a quick peek at them after the stream's over. Speaking of pictures being sent to me, so I've been toying with the idea of starting my own Discord, just specifically for the stream, and just have like a couple, like an announcements channel, a general chat channel, and then, miniature painting channel, and then, like an off-topic one, and then I've also thought about maybe kind of doing like little miniature submissions. So then every stream, got people who are watching can post their, photos of their miniatures in that little chat. Doesn't even have to be miniatures. It could be terrain, painting, clay, art, like pottery, something like anything art related, really, digital art. And then we can kind of go over it as a group towards the end of the stream. I think that'd be fun. An unsolicited pick channel, yes, 100%. Yeah. So, well, I'm happy to see that there's a couple people on the same wavelength as me. So, I'll definitely probably fire that up in the next couple days here, and then we can make that a thing. I also want to do something. I want to reach out to some of the Camo Specs guys, and well, I've got Scott here as a captive audience. I've been debating I would like to do like a collaborative stream, kind of where it's like a hang. A couple of us are painting, whoever's talking at the time, the program can swap to that person's camera view, take a look at what they're painting. Whenever somebody else talks, it swaps to their camera view, that kind of thing. And then have a big hang, and then we can take little breaks, talk to the chat. I think it'd be pretty fun. Discord was mentioned before. Which one was that? I don't have a Discord yet. A Zoom paint and chat channel? Yeah, something like that. I think there's a function within Discord that allows you to do something very similar. But yeah, I don't know if that was, you mentioned calling it a Zoom paint and chat channel. It was supposed to be a joke and it went right over my head, but that's where we are. Great. Let's go right back to this. Am I grabbing that? Let's go right back to this guy here. Let's grab some metallics. We're gonna go with dark silver. I like this dark silver because it is very, very, very dark. So we really shouldn't need to do much washing at all. Maybe a couple pin washes in a few spots, just to kind of darken some shallow recesses. But this stuff is very, very dark. So it's like a black silver almost. Not quite, but almost. And then from here, we'll start layering up some other silvers. I have some other stuff from Army Painter and Formula P3, and we can use some of that to build some brighter silver on some of these metallics. Some of the working parts I'm going to leave a little bit more dingy with some harder highlights on like kind of the working surfaces, if that makes sense. And then the other areas will just generally be brightly highlighted. I'm going to change brushes before I go ahead and use my metallics. Sure is. VC channels have options for streaming picture and video. Yeah, I would like to do that, because then I can just make Discord a media source in OBS, and Bob's your uncle. We can do our little paint chat channel thing, and I can actually, like, within Discord, I can make OBS Studio my video capture device for Discord. So then anybody who, who's part of who I'm doing the collab with will see what everybody else is seeing when it pops to mind. But yeah, there's a few ways I've seen people doing it, so I want to still be able to change windows and all that stuff when things are going on. It'd be a bit of a learning process, but I think it would be really cool. I think the collaborative process would definitely just be very, very fun. Hanging out with a friend painting as well as everybody in chat. Sign me right up. Okay, we're going to start high and work our way low. I'm just going to start on these metallics. I'm going to hit the little back piece here. These little pipes, little pips. Trying to avoid these deep recesses wherever I can. That way I don't have to come back in and pin wash certain areas. An extra, couple seconds of neatness here will save me another, like 2 to 3 times that amount when coming back to fix things. So. Definitely an advocate for just do it right the first time, even when it comes to miniature painting. I know some people like to come back, they'll just move through and come back and do touch-ups. I just don't really like doing that. I'd rather just have good brush control and practice good brush control. Call me a snob if you want. Never tried to set up a stream setup for my painting desk. Seemed like a cool idea, but haven't ever taken the plunge. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like you can definitely get a little bit into the weeds with getting things set up. I definitely found lighting is kind of the challenge, I think, for a lot of people. Making sure you have good lighting where you don't have big shadows. And for me too was just a camera mount. I was mentioning, like, I'm gonna have to probably get myself a new overhead mount. I don't really want to order the same one that I've been using because this one isn't working out, but yeah, like, it took me a little while to find one that I liked that kind of put the camera in an overhead position at an angle facing in, give a bit of a bird's eye view, more from my perspective than like this camera's just over my forehead now. So definitely finding a good camera position's key. And then, of course, a decent camera to do it. If you have a DSLR or mirrorless camera, then you're already set and good to go. But if not, you got to make that investment, or you got to make the investment in a really high quality webcam if that's the route you want to go. Got to step out for today. See you all on the next stream. Yeah, cheers, Warwolf. I'll be on tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Time it is, I gotta check. Trying not to stay up too late tonight. I've had a couple late nights. I'm not working, which is nice, but I didn't sleep well the past 2 nights because I shouldn't say I didn't sleep well, I just didn't sleep enough the last 2 nights. And I'd like to get a good workout in tomorrow, so I want to make sure I get a good sleep. A lot of cell cams have amazing cameras. Oh, 100%. I know there's definitely ways you can. I know there's, like, I've done some basic recording with my smartphone, but I know there's ways you can just hardline your phone and use that to stream. So. I'll have to go back to YouTube after and take a look at the chat, because I can see tons of stuff in the chat from YouTube that I've unfortunately missed. I do apologize, folks. I'll sort that out for hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, it's 9:46. I think I'm gonna call her good for tonight. We'll pop over to chat, and yeah, we'll do that for like the last 10-15 minutes, and then we'll close out the stream. Started on the metallics here. Just using that dark silver, and then we'll layer up some mid-tone silvers and some bright silvers on those brightest highlight points. Quick and easy on a lot of these. Nothing too crazy. All right. So we're just gonna go back to YouTube chat. Yeah, don't forget getting my first brush in a larger size, but I think I'd like a smaller one just to not worry about the larger girth of the brush sometimes. Yeah, I never really need to use anything smaller than a size, like a number 1 when it comes to brushes. I have 2 really nice size zeros, a nice 00 and a really nice 000. I literally never use them. I just never need to. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. But yeah, I just never touch them. They're in basically pristine condition. Boy, the hell, YouTube notifications slacking, yeah. About the quality you expect from a bunch of monsters beating on each other. Okay, so happy to catch the stream. Just got done running a scenario of my War of 3039 campaign. A poor Phoenix Hawk took a tag or attack machine gun ammo explosion. That sucks. Yeah, ammo explosions always suck, especially in that era, because at least that era, Hell Memory Core was kind of coming back into play, but it's very limited. Oh hell yeah, I managed to catch one of these lives from Swayze. Happy you made it, man. I thought that was the Starleague Defense Force. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what that was in reference to there, Happy Man. That's what the art is labeled in the book on 190 anyways. Okay, referencing the Ilkon's Eyes Only discussion earlier. Spent the last hour working on one blend, and in that time Zach has busted through metallics and several miniatures. Only the one. Only the one, Scotty. Only the one. But I did do a bunch of the blocking with black. But that's okay. I'm going for like nice tabletop standard. Semi, like, as well as like quasi okay display standard. You're probably working on something a lot more refined than what I'm working on. Nothing wrong with that. I have some 3rd edition Space Marines that I want to paint up soon, and I'm probably going to try to do them the heavy metal style. And I'm going to probably try to avoid using my airbrush as much as possible, so that's going to be painful. A lot of blending, a lot of layering. Well, this has definitely been fun. Nice little Wednesday stream. I will definitely be on tomorrow, though. We'll be on for 4 hours tomorrow. It's going to be a big one. We'll finish with all the metallics, and then we'll build up all of the blue, refine that, and start adding some stars. And then probably won't. I don't know if we'll finish all of that, like all the stars and refinement on the star field tomorrow. Probably finish that off on Saturday, and then move on to maybe some decal work, decal work, however you want to pronounce it. I normally do decals like halfway through the painting process. That way, if I do weathering and stuff like that, they kind of get weathered along with the miniature. But I'm going to be doing decals a little bit later in this because I have quite a bit of refinement to do on like the majority of the overall paint scheme. And I want to do that before I start adding any decals or weathering. So, yeah, that'll be kind of, once I get like 90% the way there, decals will come out, those will get added. And then pretty much from there, it's going to be weapons effects, canopies, weathering, and basing. So, it's coming along. I reckon probably by Thursday next week. Like I'm going to be doing a few other short streams, and I'm going to be streaming again on Monday and Thursday as well. In addition to this coming Saturday, like I'm pretty much going to make it like Monday, Thursday, Saturday going forwards. I'll be streaming, but I'm going to do a few other short streams in between, and we'll just keep chipping away at these. I want to try and get through them before next weekend. Get them all completely finished, and then that way we can move on to some other stuff. Maybe some terrain. I have a few buildings and stuff like that need to get painted. A couple hills and whatnot. I did just finish painting a new photo stage. I'll be putting some photos out of that very soon. It's kind of like a lightly wooded, kind of dry, not badlands really, like not quite that arid. Still some greenery, but it's going to be pretty nice, and going to have like mountain backdrop and whatnot. So it's going to be very nice. It was a very fun project to work on. It took me like a day and a half just to run through making a photo stage, doing terrain and painting it up and adding the flocking and stuff. I always enjoy doing dioramas, man. And doing anything with like lots of vegetation and like natural terrain. Absolutely love it. Such an organic process. Love just pulling up reference photos of like different landscapes and going ham. All right. Well, folks, I think we're about good tonight. I'm good. I don't know about you, but I'm good. It was a very productive 2 hours. Started just a little bit late. Do apologize again for that. And I'm going to try to sort out the chat box. So I'm getting my YouTube on my main screen as well. And I'm going to try to sort out, there's something else I needed to sort out as well. Oh yeah, the sub button. I got to double check and see if I've reached affiliate with Twitch and see if I can activate that. See if I can sort both those issues out tomorrow. Happy to have you guys still with me tonight. Thanks for hanging out. We'll crack on tomorrow at 7:30 Central. I'll put a reminder out on all the socials. And I'll probably get working on that Discord. My name is Zach. You've been watching Real Time Painting with Arclight Miniatures. I hope you folks have a wonderful evening. Good night.